So this is gonna be real quick. I'm just walking you guys through whether you're a business owner or you wanna be a business owner, you're a real estate investor or you wanna be a real estate investor, or you're just somebody that you enjoy your job but you wanna make a couple extra $1,000s a month. I'm gonna show you how you can use debt and then leverage that debt to buy assets like a business or real estate or some cars so you can do Turo on the side or whatever it is. I'm gonna give you a few examples, just walk you through how you can get funding for your business, what your credit needs to look like, and who to go to, when to go to them, and why. So how to get $100,000 to $150,000 in 0% business credit cards. Like I said, this is for business owners, people that want to be a business owner, real estate investor, or you just need an extra income. Like I said, a couple $1,000s a month. Again, my name is Amir Towns. My company is Towns Lending. I've been in this space since 2018. I provide working capital to small business owners. I started out just working with medical providers, so I would call up doctors and see if they needed funding for their business, and that's how I got started in this. Before that, I was in car sales for like 4 years. You can reach out to me at info@townslending.com, and then my IG is at Mir, MIR _the business funder. All right, so let's get started. So setting up your company for funding. First, you want to format, get everything formatted. So whether you decide that's S-Corp or whatever, most of the time it's an LLC. So you get your LLC, you can go to wyomingagents.com. Typically, I think that's like $125 to $150 to set it up there. I have my businesses set up in Wyoming simply because of tax advantages, and I'm working from home, and I can use their address as my business address, so that way it's not attached to the home address. So you get your EIN through the IRS. Your EIN is basically your social security number for your business. You get your EIN through irs.gov. It's free. You don't have to pay for that. So don't pay somebody to do it for you because it's free. Your phone number can be gotten through Grasshopper or Ring Central, or you can just, like if you have T-Mobile or something like that, just get a business line. Email I got mine through Gmail. I got this through workplace.google.com, simply because I do email campaigns, and I can use GMass, which basically allows me to send like a bulk of emails and plan everything out and schedule it and stuff like that. So that's what I use for my business. And then you can go to listyourself.net, so that everything, like all your information is congruent all across the net, and you're basically listed everywhere, so that way when banks look for you, it's not hard to find you. And so here's what banks look for on your credit profile when you're going out to get funding. If you've ever tried to get funding, usually if you don't have like so many years in business, or you don't have the perfect credit score, or you have a small, you don't ever want to be a small business owner. You're a growing business. And banks don't want to deal with people who need money. It's weird. They want you to look like you don't need money. But so it's easier for you to get an unsecured business credit card. Like you can set up an LLC today and get a business credit card tomorrow if your profile is structured correctly. If your credit profile is structured correctly. And this is the quickest way to do it. I know you can do all the net 30s and stuff like that, but just personally guarantee it. Get your credit right and personally guarantee your business loans, and they'll show up on your business side with the exception of Capital One and Discover. So just don't get a Capital One or Discover business card. That way everything can show up on your business side when you're out there getting funding. So you're gonna do 10% or less of credit utilization. So let's say you have $10,000 in limits right now. you want at least you want it less than $1,000 used on your credit report, and that's aggregate. So that's not like total. That's like per card type of thing. So under 10% per card, you'll really increase your scores if you keep it under like 3 to 5%. But for funding, I say go under 10. You can still get funding. I say 10, but you can still get funding if you're at like 30%. But you want to show them that you're like I said, you don't need money. And so if you have the higher your utilization is, the lower that approval is going to be if you even get approved. So I say 10% or less. 100% on-time payments, no derogatory marks like charge-offs or collections. 4 years or more of credit history. 12 accounts, positive accounts, ideally 21. And 0 to 2 hard inquiries per bureau is ideal. You can have more if you just have if you got a solid profile, you can have more. But inquiries ain't nothing to remove. So how to get there if you have a fresh profile. So I'm talking to the people that don't have credit. They don't have a lot of credit right now. So if you don't have a lot of credit right now and you need to add a few things onto your credit so you can at least hit that, 10 to 12 accounts on your report, I will go to Rent Reporters, Rental Karma if you're renting. And basically all you have to do, I think one of them is like $99. You pay $99 to add, let's say you've been living in the same place for the last 4 years. You can backdate all of that and then plus pay $8.99 a month or something like that along those lines, to continue to report to your credit bureaus. And they report to all three. And so you pick up 48 on-time payments, and all they do is call your landlord and say, hey, have they been living there for the past 4 years? Yeah. Or if you stay with somebody, if you live with a family member, and they'll call your family member up. It works the same way. I will go and get a DCU credit builder loan. I think they charge you about 5%, and I think they go up to $3,000. So they're not giving you a loan. You're not getting $3,000. Basically, it's a savings account that you're paying into. So I think it's like it comes out to about $43 per $1,000 that you borrow. So let's say you select to pay $1,000 at the end of the term. I think it's like a 2-year term or 3-year term or something like that. I have to look. You're going to be paying $43 a month, and at the end of that term, so once you have $1,000 in there, you paid it all, you get all of that money back, minus the interest fees, which I said is like, I think it's about 5%. But this helps you build an installment loan. So there's revolving and installment. I'll go over that later. Meet Ava, Credit Strong, Self. Then you can go to Discover to get, like, let's say if you got like $2,000, I would break it down into 500s and go and get 4 secured credit cards. So Discover, Chase, US Bank, Capital One, get those. All of those are cards that graduate. And when I say they graduate, I mean that you're not going to lose that. The money that you put up, that $500 that you put up, or whatever it is that you put up, you're not going to lose it. They'll basically, once you've been paying on it for 6 months and they see that you've been using it responsibly, they'll send you that money back, and it'll graduate to an unsecured credit card. And then I would also add maybe 1 or 2 authorized user accounts. So after doing that, after getting those like secure cards, and I'm paying on it for 3 to 6 months, I would then go and get 1 or 2 authorized user accounts with like 10 plus years on it, and they got $20,000 to $30,000 limits, maybe even more. Add that on to me. Chase is a good one to add on there. Citi's a good one to add on there. Amex, that way you can get an Amex system, but with Amex, they don't backdate, and so it would just show up as a new account. So really, you just want that Chase or Capital One. Reach out to me if you guys need help with that. Get added onto there. And then you would go out and get personal funding, because banks do what's called product matching. But product matching is done on your authorized user account, only works on your personal side. So when you go to get business funding, they're not going to consider the authorized user account. But so let me go over this. Product matching, if you are only used to managing like a $500 card, a credit one card at that, if that's what you have right now, or if you've been considering getting a credit one card or Indigo or one of those secondary lenders, don't get them. You might as well just go and give Chase $500 and start a relationship with them, because these secondary banks, Chase is gonna look at you different. It's just like, have you ever dealt with somebody and then you heard about their past and it kind of turns you off, because it was like, if you dealt with that, then I'm not even really your type. It's just like that. Like, you just almost discussed it. That's how Chase is going to look at credit one on your credit profile. So be careful who you lay down with, because financially you laying down with credit one or Indigo. But if you have it, you have it. And so still go and build a relationship with Chase. But basically, if you're only used to managing $500 credit cards, they're going to be apprehensive about giving you a $30,000 approval on your Inc. Business Unlimited, simply because there's just it's two different things. So banks do what's called product matching. You have to get those high limits on a personal side before you get those high limits on the business side. And that's why I say, get the authorized user account, get your own accounts first, then get the authorized user account, so that when you go to apply for your unsecured cards with Chase, with US Bank has 0% for 21 months now, you can get a higher approval. You'll get a $7,000, $15,000, $20,000 approval instead of, that $1,000 approval or that $1,500. You want 7 and over, really. So you get 2 or 3 of those cards on the personal side. If you have Navy, use Navy. You have PenFed, they're good, and they're based off of Equifax. And you can get do a soft pull to get an approval with them. Anybody can join PenFed. Anybody can join DCU. You join through their I think you donate like $10 or $15 to like one of the school organizations. So look for that when you go to DCU and figure out how to join. They're also known for their high approvals. And if you get in there, you do a credit builder account, you're building a relationship with them. That relationship matters. Those internal scores matter. All right, so I'm going quick, but here's a national funding sequence. This is a simple one, but with just this, if your credit profile is set up right, you can easily get 100 with just this. So Chase, you have your Inc. Business Unlimited, 0% for 12 months with 1.5% cash back. They typically pull from Experian, but sometimes, depending on the state you're in, they can pull from Experian and TransUnion. And then you have your Inc. your Chase Inc. Business Cash. I'm sick right now. 5% back on all business categories, and I think that's 0% for 12 months as well. So you can. There's data points out there where you can actually double dip and get both of those cards at the same time. So that's one pool. Then you have US Bank. Like I said, they have 0% for 18 months. And this is on the business side. 0% for 18 months. Platinum. On the business platinum. And then they also have the 0% for 12 months with the cash back. My relationship manager, she said the highest approval she has done on one card is $200,000. I'm not saying you're getting $200,000 because that's with a business that's been established, and you know they've been doing their thing. But she even said you can start an LLC today and come to her tomorrow to get funding. And another thing, you need to use relationship managers. Don't go online and apply, because you're gonna get those $5,000 approvals, $6,000 approvals. You want, like with Chase, I've seen $50,000 approval on one car, $75,000 approvals on one car. That's why I said this simple play is you can, if you build a relationship right, then you can get 100,000 just from Chase alone, 100,000 just from U.S. Bank alone. And then Wells Fargo, they have their Signify 0% for 12 months, and they pull from Equifax, Experian and Equifax. But Wells Fargo, they also have, if you've been in business for over 2 years, I think, yeah, over 2 years, they have a no doc up to 100,000 line of credit. And so you can use that as well, the 0% and the line of credit. And then BOA, Bank of America, 0% for 9 months. And then you have the Amex Blue Biz, Amex Blue Cash, both for 0% for 12 months. That's a basic funding sequence. And I didn't even maximize that. But I put national funding sequence because I didn't want to put any local banks or any local credit unions or anything like that, because this is something that anybody on here could benefit from. If you in North Dakota, if you in Jersey, if you in Atlanta, you in wherever, this is something anybody could benefit from. You can get a Chase account. You can get U.S. Bank, Wells Fargo, Amex, BOA. And the good thing, I think Chase and U.S. Bank are the only ones that don't require you to have an account with them before giving you an approval. Everybody else, you have to have an account with them. All right, so I'm gonna take you through the application process, or not through the process, but kind of what you want to avoid and how you want to fill it out. So when you're filling out your credit card apps for personal cards, never say you're retired or self-employed. You are employed by your business. Retired just sounds crazy to a bank, because it's like, well, you're on a fixed income, and self-employed just sounds too small. It just sounds too it's insecure. So you're not gonna get the max approval if you even get approved. For business apps, put a reasonable projected income, avoid high risk in a NAICS code. So restaurants are high risk, but you can do restaurant management. Real estate is high risk, but you could do property management. And Chase, they tend to go off of your projected income. So if you tell them I'm gonna make $500,000, well, and you also have to be careful about how much you say, because if it sounds low for your industry, then you get a low approval, because they're like, you're not even making the average of what this industry makes. You don't know, like you're not doing what this industry can do. But if you say, I'm gonna just keep going. Make sure you double check all your information and make sure everything matches up. Like, remember when I said listyourself.com? Like, make sure. Sometimes you can just be rushing the application and something just won't match up. Like your EIN is not gonna match up to the one or your NAICS code, or you say your business checking account is registered as a trucking company, but then when you apply, you say your consulting company. You know, obviously that's a trick. That's a red flag. Also, trucking companies are high risk in most cases. But you can be a logistics company, same thing. So make sure you double check all your information, make sure everything matches up. So everything just needs to be the same across the board. If it's on 411 is this, I mean, if it's on list, you listed yourself as this, the business name, email, make sure everything matches up the same on the application. Make sure you're double checking your social security. Make sure you're double checking your EIN, things like that. When you're dealing with a relationship manager, a lot of the times they'll send you like a DocuSign, and they'll get on the phone with you and kind of not prep you for the DocuSign, but they're gonna like damn near interview you before sending you the DocuSign. They'll ask you about monthly spend, requested amount, your income, like projected income, and they all play a major role in your approval amount. So banks want to deal with people who's actually going to spend the money, but they also want to deal with people who can actually pay it back. Typically, your approval amount is about 10 to 15% of your annual revenue. So if you say if you're projected to make $500,000 that year, then they can justify giving you a $50,000 card. And if you say I'm gonna, like, my monthly spend is about 30 to 40,000 or 50,000, it makes sense for them to give you a $50,000 card, because they know that you make the money, you're gonna use the card, and you're gonna pay it back. So you're gonna be using it. This is gonna be an active account. This is not something that's just gonna be sitting. So that's important. You have to look like you don't need money. I keep having to go over this because banks like dealing with people who don't need money. But I think that's anything in life. Like you have to attract that energy. Like you don't want to look thirsty for money. You don't want to ever be put in a position to where you look like you need something from somebody, then they'll never give it to you, because it's like, you know? And so, yeah, you don't want to look like you need money. Lenders like businesses that seem to have a solid revenue and will make use of the card, is basically what I just said. So foreign entities, this is another play. So that's why I said the national funding sequence, because let's say you live in Atlanta, right? Or wherever. And you hear about a credit union that's in Maryland, like SCCU. You can file a foreign entity. Let's say you find a registered agent in Baltimore, or you end up filing for a foreign entity in Baltimore, and you using an address out there for your business address, and then you set up everything, you're setting up everything right. But you set it up as a foreign entity, so it's like an extension of your business, but in another state. I can legally do business in this state, and so that allows you to be a Georgia business. You started in Georgia or wherever you started, and still get funding in that state, because sometimes these credit unions, they only want to deal with businesses in that area or in that state, and so you put your business over there as a foreign entity. So with SCCU, you pretty much join the SCCU Foundation. To get in without a reference, you can get 3 products with 1 inquiry within the 30-day window. But the business must be in Maryland, and on the personal side, you can join from anywhere in the United States. So that's why I said you can use stuff like this, because you're gonna get 3 products with just 1 pool, and that's why sometimes you may want to set up a foreign entity. Let me go back. And so what I tell people to do is get your first 3 bank accounts. So if you have a credit union where you at, then you also want Chase and US Bank, because they got high limit approvals. And like I said, US Bank has the 0% for 18 months. And then Chase has the 0% for 12 months. And then US Bank has another one, 0% for 12 months. So that's 4 cards, 2 pools, And then, so As you're getting funding, you're getting your first round of funding, you want to already set up another 3 bank accounts and let that sit for 90 days. I'll jump back into this. You get higher approvals when you deal with a relationship manager. I keep pounding a relationship manager into your head because you don't really want to apply online. This ain't something you want to do online. And a lot of the times, a relationship manager ain't even at the bank. They in the field. They're talking to other business owners. So sometimes it can be hard to get in contact with a relationship manager. But if you need help, if you want to use my resources, if you want to use my people, I'm obviously going to charge you. But reach out to me and I can do all of this for you. I'll take over the whole process for you and get you funding. But so you don't have to rush the process. You need to practice financial discipline. If you get 50,000 from Chase, the goal is to flip it. Take 15K of it and open up 3 separate accounts with 5,000 each at other institutions and let it sit for 90 days while you build a relationship. Or get an account with 3 new banks and put the money in a CD or high yield savings account. That way you're actually making like 5% on the money while it's sitting in there. Because they have those short-term CDs depending on where you go to. And it strengthens your relationship. It's just like you not knowing me and I come up to you and ask you for $100,000, or you knowing there's your best friend, or maybe not even your best friend, but somebody you've been getting money with. You've seen them get money. They pay back money anytime they borrow money from you. Y'all both made money together. Both of us coming to you at the same time asking you for $100,000. Who are you more likely to give the money to, him or me? You're gonna give it to him because you've seen him perform. Y'all have a relationship built. It's no different with these banks. Build your relationships, build your internal scores with these banks. And so you go in there, like I said, if you get 50,000 from Chase, the next thing you should be doing is setting up 3 other accounts elsewhere. A credit union, a regional bank, and then like a Bank of America or something like that. 555. Get a CD or a high yield savings account, get paid 5% on that. That way the money is still working while it's sitting, but you're also building that relationship. Or you can set up a completely different LLC for your next round of funding. It can just keep, put the money to work. That's the main purpose of me having this video right now, is just telling you to put the money to work. If you open up a consulting business or a management company, like I said, you're not a
Amazon Music is streaming on another device. Would you like to stream from here instead?
No. If you're, that threw me off track. If you're okay, if you're a restaurant or you want to get in the restaurant business, which is high risk, you're not a restaurant, you're a restaurant management company. And so basically, if you're gonna get, me personally, if you're gonna get in the restaurant industry, get your funding, set up your LLC first, get your funding, and then use the LLC as a SPV, a special purpose vehicle. Basically, it just means you're protecting yourself and you're using that LLC to buy the business under that LLC. Because like I said, you're gonna get the funding first. Let's say you get $150,000. The restaurant is $300,000. They come with 15 employees. It's been around since early 2000s. It's more secure than you starting one out yourself. Even if you decide to change the menu or the theme or whatever it is, if I was gonna get into a restaurant, I'm buying one. I'm not starting one because it's a tough business. Yeah, that's what I would do. And then just add to the menu. Like if you just somebody that like to cook or you like, just add to the menu. But the goal is to put the money to work. And if you're somebody that just needs a couple extra $1,000 a month, or you want to turn something into a business, but you want to start it out yourself, and you don't know what you want to do, do Turo, rent, like a rental car business. BOA will let you get up to 4 business vehicles on one pool. Bank of America, 4 vehicles, one pool. You can also just start out small. Like, let's say you don't get $100,000 in funding. You can get 20,000 and get 4 or 5,000 vehicles, or two 10,000 vehicles, $10,000 vehicles at 0%. Pull it off your credit card, and then refinance out of it later with a personal loan or a whatever. You just got to get creative with how you use this debt. Because if you're getting, let's say you get $30,000 and you get 4 cars, you get like a little Hyundai Elantra, like you're getting, the economy cars that people are gonna use for like Lyft, or you up by the airport, and they're just using it to get around. You don't need to have a Rolls Royce. You don't need to be renting out a Rolls Royce or a Lamborghini for you to be making money. A lot of the times, these small economy vehicles, they make the most money. You can get a Ford Fusion, like $10,000. You can get a Focus, Elantra. You can get a bunch of these like economy vehicles, and like let's say you got 50,000. That's 5 to 10 cars right there. That's making you money every single month. Like I said, you pull the money off the car, get the cars, set up shop, and still go to work. Like if you got a job that you go to, still go to work, and let these vehicles pay for themselves. Because like I said, you're pulling you're using like your credit card as a line of credit. Pulling the money off, getting the vehicles, and putting that money to work while you at work. Airbnb, short-term rental. You sublet, furnish the apartment, or you just talk to the landlord. I haven't done the Airbnb just because I don't like dealing with people for the most part. I shouldn't say that, but yeah. People just trifling. So furnish an apartment or a house, you rent it out on these platforms, or if you got a house already, furnish it. Now I'm about to go through like a few different businesses you can buy and how to buy them. So 93% of billionaires, they buy and sell businesses. So they acquire and exit businesses. Most millionaires are made through real estate, but the billionaires are made through businesses. And so let's say you're coming to Georgia, or you already here, or you can't come to Georgia and not have a plan. You can't come to Georgia and not have a hustle. So this is one that's in Atlanta. It's a beauty supply store. This facility has been there for years. It's 16,000 square feet. The owner is making about $150,000 a year. I'm sure it's more. But this is how you buy yourself an income that can replace your current income or add to it. It already has employees. There's $1 million in inventory that's included in the sale for $475. If you're a woman or if you're a minority, you can get set up with a CDFI. It's a community development fund, and basically they have less strict terms for SBA funding. Or if you have the only thing I don't like about the SBA is you being like, they get in your business a lot. Like you're being like personally liable, when my strategies, they typically are for like I try to like just get in there without involving a lot of things. But I'm strategic about things. But let's say the SBA, they put up 90%. All you need is $47,000, $50,000. That's, like I said, that's on a credit card. So you pull, and that way you're 100% financed in this deal. You pull $50,000 off a business credit card. Like I said, the business is already set up. You set it up as a consulting company, or you can set it up as a beauty company. or whatever it is, and pull your 50. And like I said, you can. I just showed you how to get 100, so you can use that other 50 as a marketing budget. New owner, like that. You need to find ways to promote the business, and a grand reopening is one of the things that people, and like I said, with this one, they're including $1 million of inventory in the sale. And so if they grossed $1 million last year, they already set you up to do the same thing this year with it under your name. Start or expand your trucking business. If you're a trucking operator right now, the best way to grow your business is by buying another trucking business. That's the easy. This one has 2 trucks, 4 employees. They operate as a team. But with this one, he tripping on the price. But this is a guy that he didn't have a business broker, and he personally listed this. So all you got to do is educate him, because it also says that he's gonna pay off the debt at closing. But what if you approach him like, hey, I'm gonna take on the debt? Because look, so really you want to offer like a 1 to 2x of cash flow or EBITDA. So let's say you offered him $300,000, but he has $200,000 in debt on the business. You can say, I'll take on the $200,000 in debt, and I'll put $100,000 in your pocket. But and then just go from there, because $1 million is crazy. Because if he has debt, then it's probably on the trucks. And I don't understand why you got that. You just have to dig into this deal. I was just using this for guys that wanted to get in trucking, or you were already in trucking and you wanted to expand your business. But I was just using this as an example and how I would go into this situation, just talking directly to the owner, because that's what you want to do. A lot of the times these sites, they'll have brokers, but some of the listings are, you can tell when it's listed by the owner. So you want to talk to the owner. You don't want to go through a broker, because then they want to start the broker's job is to start a bidding war, where you're going back and forth, and they're accepting offers over here and accepting offers over here, and they're like, oh, well, we just received this. No, you didn't, because 80% of the businesses that go on the market don't even sell. Yeah, 80% don't sell. Furniture business. This is a furniture business. They asked them $1.1 million, and this is another situation where you can, and they offer seller financing. So it's like, you just talk to them, how much seller financing you want. And I believe this one had a bunch of employees. They've been in business for years, and included in the sale is $600,000 worth of inventory. And so now you see they did a 1x multiple, so that he's cash flowing $350 plus the $600, and that's how they came up to the 1.1. So yeah, that's a 1x multiple. This is a good deal, because you're getting $600,000 worth of inventory. And I believe they said they would stay on for a year. I have to go back to the thing, but I believe they would stay on for a year to train you. And so all you have to do, this is SBA all day mixed with seller financing, or depending on how much you want, you can just work this out. But you'll probably have to go through the SBA if you don't have $1 million. But my goal is to be 100% financed. So take $100,000. Like I said, you're getting $100,000. You can get that. You can really get it on a personal loan. If you have a decent job right now, you can get $100,000 on a personal loan. Yeah, but obviously, like I said, you want to put everything in a business name. So get $100,000. That will be or get 110. That will be your 10% to put into, and then get the rest with SBA, or have him do 30% seller finance. And so what? 700,000. Then you put 100 up. That's 600,000. Yeah, and then put the rest to SBA for 10 years, small payment. And then with his stuff, when he seller finances, you just do interest only payments, and then balloon in like 5 or 10 years, or however y'all set it up. A gym. Same thing, seller financing. I would just come to them, hey, I got 100, even though I got 150, or I got whatever I got 100, and have them work it out. Give me finance that 90,000 for the next 5 years, interest only payments, and then balloon at the end. And this is a 24-hour fitness, so you know they scan in. So it probably has 2 or 3 employees that come in and vacuum throughout the day and say hello. But for the most part, this business, it runs itself. So yeah, just turning debt into income. There's good debt and there's bad debt. This is a daycare. You and your friends, you and your girlfriend get together. They're cash flowing $454,000 a year, which means the owner is getting paid that. Daycares are killing it. Been open since 2019. They're only asking $550, which is great. I would still, I hit them at 500. Let's do it even 500. I'm gonna come up with 250. You and a friend both do 125. Both you and a friend both do 125. Get into it, and then have her owner finance you or him owner finance you for however long. If they once they put seller financing up there, I would negotiate the hell out of that. Start at 50% and see if they'll do 50% and then work down. Oh, okay, well, will you do 30? All right, well, here's what I got. Or just tell them what you got. This is what I have. Owner finance the rest, we got a deal. Like, after you're looking at financials and stuff like that, like, do it with an accountant, do it the right way. I'm not just telling you to go in here blindly or nothing like that, but just do it the right way. All right, so those are a few examples, but this is also, like I said, billionaires are made in business, millionaires are made in real estate. Get into real estate, set up your own company, but as a property management company, not a real estate investment company, because that's just a red flag for these lenders. Get funding, liquidate the cars. It's the same sequence, but just in a different arena. Get a hard money lender. They're gonna put up 70 to 80%. So instead of the SBA, you're gonna do a hard money lender because it can move quicker. It's gonna cost you probably a good piece of money, but hard money lender. So here's an example. It's a $200,000 house, $350,000 after repair value. $140,000 is put up by the hard money lender. $60,000 is pulled from your card. Put another $40,000 into the house to rehab it. Then you rent, refinance, repeat. So, and then once these hard money lenders are making money with you, it makes it, they want to keep making money with you. And so how many of these deals can you do on these 0% cards? Like I said, if you can get $100,000 in 0%, you need to be going hard for that year. You need to be going hard for those 12 months. And then when that 12 months is up, if you don't have it completely paid off, all you do is do a balance transfer into another 0% card, or you ask for an extension, or you get a if it's under your personal, you're using your personal cards, because like I said, you can get high limits on your personal as well. If it's under your personal, you get a personal loan, and that way you can hide the utilization, and yeah. But make sure it's under the business, and then just go, like I said, you're setting up every 90 days to get more 0% interest credit cards. There's over 500 0% credit. Like there's a bunch of them out there. So you're not gonna run out of money. You have to use debt. You don't have to, but use debt, leverage debt to get you an asset, produce income that's gonna outperform the debt. Repeat. Asset, debt. Or you can buy land. So you see, like in Atlanta, where they have like these little vacant lots, or or if you got like a couple acres, get you some shipping containers and create these small little tiny homes, or you can get with a builder that can stack those onto each other and then build that whole thing out, and then you got a fourplex or something like that, because rent is expensive. And so if you can create a situation like this where you can charge less because it costs you $20,000 to build out one, or $40,000 to build out a fourplex. I don't know how much it costs, but you can get a shipping container for $4,500. Probably less than that. This is on eBay. I just put in shipping container and pulled this up. But this is simple. This is a quick way for you to get in real estate without having a bunch of debt, because $20,000 ain't a bunch of debt. $10,000 ain't a whole bunch of debt. And like I said, it's not gonna take long for anybody to build this out. And so you'll be able to flip that 0% money a few times over. If you have credit, what the hell did I write? If you have credit and you want to make a few extra thousand, but you don't know what you want to do, then get someone who has the vision. You can set up an operating agreement as a credit partner of the business, or you can simply lend the money at 10 to 12% with a balloon payment at the end of the 12 months. If you trust them, or if you're dealing with somebody that's business savvy and you can trust and you feel good about making money with, let's say you're charging them 10%. So you do interest payments for the 12 months and then a balloon at the end, which means, let's say you gave them $100,000. They gonna give you interest only payments that those 12 months, and then at the end they're gonna give you $100,000 for you to pay back to your put it back on your credit cards. But that's a little more risky, so you might as well just jump into business if you like. Whatever you choose to do, put your credit to work, put your money to work. America's in trillions of dollars in debt. This country was as great as everybody's saying it is, and it still is great, because you still have people fleeing from their countries to come here and live the American dream. And the national, the global, I'm saying it wrong. For you to be top 1% globally, you only need to make $32,000 a year, and you're in the top 1% globally. $32,000 a year here, you're poor. But being poor here is damn near being rich somewhere else. So keep that in mind and realize the opportunity you have just being here. So you can say, oh, America is down. Yeah, whatever. People are still trying to escape their circumstances to come here. So take advantage of the opportunity you have being here. The rich utilize debt to buy assets that will outperform the debt and make them money. Then they reinvest and get more debt because you can't be taxed on debt. So regardless of who's in office, the rich is going to find a way to utilize debt so that they can't be taxed. And you can't listen to what everybody's promising you, because at the end of the day, they all have people that's lining their pockets to push an agenda. And those people are benefiting from debt, using debt to buy assets. All the richest people in the world, they still use debt to buy assets, outperform the debt, and rinse and repeat. But yeah, so that's today's whatever. This is how you can, or if you don't, you can do what I do. So I just gave you some information. I just gave you the game. You can charge 10% to help people get funding, to help set people up to get funding. So if you get somebody $100,000 and you charge them 10%, that's $10,000. But that's $100,000 that they wouldn't have had, and it's on 0%. Or if you can team up with a few different people and y'all come together and y'all buy $1 million business. Like there's so many different things you can do if you can create a community of like-minded people and that's on the same page as you, and I just want to have a better life, live a better life, and or just live as much as they can while we're here, you know. But yeah, my name is Amir Towns. Like I said, you can reach me at www. Well, that's my website, www.townslending.com, or my email is info@townslending.com. You can message me on IG. You can message me on Facebook. You can Google me, and my LinkedIn will pull up. Yeah, just reach out to me if y'all need help with getting some funding for your business, or you want to start a business, or you want to buy a business, or you want to do some business together, or you need some advising, some coaching on how to do all of this stuff. I'm gonna charge you, but reach out to me. This is the free game, so don't come to me, hey bro, hey brother, none of that shit. Come to me and pay, and come to me wanting to pay me because you're gonna make money with me. But yeah, this is the free game. Free game. Let me know if you need me. Hey man, I forgot to mention this, but if you're planning on being like a content creator, or you want to get on YouTube and build an audience, or let's say you're even an artist or something like that, you can set up a business as a studio, or you can set up a business as, you can incorporate your name, your YouTube name, and or what like if you're gonna be a creator, incorporate your name. If you're gonna be an artist, incorporate your name, or start a record label, or start a studio. Get the funding for it, get the equipment, get on YouTube and pay to push your videos. You can pay to get your videos seen by more people. You can pay for a better camera, or if you want to start a podcast, you need to look like it's already successful. So I remember Kim from Mason Cam, I forget what theirs is called, but he said he had put up $250 to start his, and he didn't even use 100 of it, but he set it up like it was already successful. He set it up, and of course he already had an audience, but there was never a time where it looked like it was just in his room or something like that, you know? So you could rent out a small place, get the equipment, you and your friends, and start a podcast, and then use the money as a marketing budget to push the podcast to more people. All you have to do is just work with somebody who has experience in using Google Ads to advertise on YouTube, pay-per-click, PPC, and just things like that. Just pushing your content or your music or your podcast to your ideal audience. Or you can pay for features on different theme pages on Instagram and things like when you have the money, you have the access to different resources, to different people, to different audiences. And so if that's something that you're looking to do, this is a great way to do that as well. Also, I wanted to mention that if you wanted to work with me, like I said, I don't only do funding. I've done funding for the last 6 years, since 2018. But I've also been great at sales. I've also, done marketing and things like that. So I've consulted companies on those things. If you need somebody to consult with you on those things, I can help you out. Of course, I'm going to charge you. And the only way I discount my services as far as helping you get funding, like I said, I charge. So I can help you get into these deals. Like sometimes, like let's say you're looking to buy a trucking company. Everything is paid off. The trucks are paid off. They got 7 trucks is paid off. I can leverage the trucks to get an equipment loan. There's different ways where we can work some funding out to get you into that business. I can help you negotiate into that business, so that you can buy an asset and produce income. So only way I discount my services as far as funding is if I have equity in that deal. But other than that, don't ask me for no damn discount. But yeah, also, I have a book that I wrote basically breaking down all of this. When you buy a book, I donate 2. So you buy a book, I donate 2 books. I'm going to donate 1 to a prison, and I'm going to do 1 to a college. The reason being is my brother, he spent 8 years in prison, close to 8 years. I never felt like he got truly rehabilitated, because he would always mention how he ain't scared to go back. Or he would always mention how he ain't got nothing to lose, but he had 4 kids. And it's a long story, but he passed before him, like as him and I was trying to do some things to get into business together and buy a business here in Atlanta. He got killed. And so me donating a book to prisons to help them figure out how to come out here and become successful in business or financially and figure this out is like me doing it in memory of him. But I don't want to only give to the people who trying to rebuild their life. I want to give it to the people that's also trying to chase a dream as well. Like, just from the jump. And so that's why I'm also give, for every one you buy, I'm going to donate to a college. I'm going to donate to a prison. Obviously, it's not going to be 1 by 1, but you get what I'm saying. So yeah, if you're interested in buying the book, I probably have a link in this description. I'm also have a link to my calendar. If you need to talk about getting funding or some type of partnership or making money together or whatever, that link is in the bio for my calendar. I appreciate you guys watching.